How's everybody doing? Welcome to the show today. If you've never been here before, well, we've been here before, but never like this. We are actually coming to you live from WET, and this is really neat because Squirt and I are both here. He's literally right across the table from me. I don't have my headphones in because I'm going to listen to him live. But if you've been here before, welcome back. If you have not been here before, we are so glad that you're here. And like I said, this is a little bit different. If you hear the background noise, well, there's thousands of tradespeople here. WET is water, wastewater equipment, tools, and transport.
Technology
Something
and
like that.
transport.
Hold on, I want to make sure I get this right. Oh, water, wastewater equipment, treatment, and transport. So it's a little bit of everything. But if you've got a question, all we ask is that you jump in here, put in a comment, put in a question. We would love to hear from you. Squirt, go ahead and let's say a little bit about Leak Pro.
Good morning, everybody. We want to thank Lake Pro for sponsoring today's video, letting us come to you live here from the WET Show 2025. We are in Indianapolis, Indiana today. And, we build what we believe is the best plumbing leak detection system for professional plumbers. And what I do is I manufacture two different devices. I manufacture a probe, which is made more from your meter to the home service for outdoor leaks. And then I also manufacture a sidekick, which is more of a pistol grip style, has an aluminum rod. That's what we prefer when you go indoors and you're listening through slabs, because that aluminum rod just kind of eliminates that layer of concrete. If you want to find any more out about it, visit www.leak-pro.com, or you can give me a call at 1-8888-LEAK-PRO.
Okay, so we're going to start out today talking about national news. And, with Squirt doing his research, we got a company here called SecuSuite. And I am sure I said that wrong, but you know what? We're good. And they have just expanded into the United States, and not expanded, but expanded its U.S. territories or its U.S. presence. And they acquired MDC Holdings for $5 billion. Guys, that's billion with a B. So I want you to think about this. But here's what's scary. This makes a Japanese company the fifth largest home builder in the United States. Is this what we want? And look, I'm just throwing that out there because the first thing I thought of is, why aren't American companies growing like this? They're being acquired by Japanese companies. Nothing wrong with it, I guess. But my thought is, where are they at? And I literally did research and I looked it up because it blew my mind. They're in Arizona, California, Nevada, Texas, and Utah. So, man, just look at it. Squirt, go into a little bit of detail here and tell us what all you found out about them. But guys, remember, they spent $5 billion to become the fifth largest U.S. home builder in the United States.
That's it. Sekisui House now owns multiple U.S. Home building companies, collectively expecting to deliver 15,000 new homes annually across 16 different states. Guys, that's 15,000 homes a year going in 16 states. It's kind of huge. That's buying a big company, becoming the fifth largest is huge. But the company plans to introduce Japanese construction techniques to the U.S. market, emphasizing energy efficiency and precision. And one of the major things that we talked about on here is everything is moving to be more efficient. All the products and designs, everything that they're making nowadays is to become more efficient, save that energy, and collect it the proper ways.
Talk a little bit louder for me. One thing in here, and it's something that I read, the one thing that I do like about this says the company plans to introduce Japanese construction techniques to the U.S. market, emphasizing energy efficiency and precision. So, guys, think about that, because we've seen China build a building, like an 11-story building, in 30 days. And we've seen it done. I've seen the videos. So, my thought there is it's something to think about. But the Japanese, when it came to the automotive industry, the Japanese looked at precision. How do we do things better where we're not stopping the assembly line and coming back and fixing things? So I'm really interested in seeing, and this is something that I want to do research on. What is the Japanese looking at bringing over to teach us about precision? What are they going to be able to teach us about energy efficiency? I'm a lead AP, so I understand energy efficiency, but I know that there's always ways that we can improve things and do better. So, and I like this. I want to hit these couple of comments real quick. Lori McNeil says, morning. Yeah, it's snowing and freezing in Oregon. It was 7 degrees when we woke up this morning. But yeah, I know the feeling. Trevor Shadows says, when you look at car makers and tractors, they are typically high quality. And look, I'm really interested in seeing what the Japanese bring to the United States to help us get better. I think that we can always get better. And guys, look, I talk about constant improvement and learning and growing. I have no problem learning new things. I mean, y'all look at me. I'm learning new stuff every day. But especially in the trades, what can we learn to help us grow, to help us get better? I like the energy efficiency part because this is going to be long-term ROI for the home buyer. If they can buy a home that cuts their energy costs, say 30 to 50% every month, every year, guys, that adds up over time where just that savings could end up paying for your house. So, I like this. I like the way it sounds, but my only concern is we're letting a Japanese company become the 5th largest home builder in the United States. As United States companies, is that something that we really want or not? I mean, I'd love to hear from y'all and see what all y'all think.
Well, then my thought kind of is the alternative there is how many American companies are over there building homes and what size are we over there? That's a curiosity too, just to kind of think of it from the opposite end of that spectrum, which is pretty wild. And I'm curious to learn from other parts of the world as to what they're going to bring here. Just like kind of the keynote that we were listening to this morning, where he was taking some of our skills here across over to Africa and teaching them and passing them on the right tools and the knowledge to do things. It's great to learn from everybody around the world because some places do things different, and we all know that. Just in America, we all do things different and have our each and own kind of way of doing things. But to go and learn some of these new techniques is going to be very interesting, and hopefully it brings a lot to the market.
All right, so we're going to roll over in the website review, and Randy's got NECA today. And, I mean, look, I love Squared. That's my boy. Y'all know that. We're at a plumbing conference, and we're talking about electrical websites. I mean, Squared, if you can hear me, what the what?
This is the Trade Talks. Welcome to our channel where we don't hate any trade.
See what I got to deal with every day, guys.
Except for electricians, because I'm a pipe fitter too. Clean up your mess.
See what I got to deal with every day.
But guys, honestly, the National Electrical Contractors Association. If you are an electrician, you know what this is. I'm a pipe fitter. I had no clue. Okay. But guys, some of these major players in the country, you want to be a part of these programs and situations because this is how you're going to keep up with your industry news and updates. Anything that's coming down the pipelines, they're going to provide the latest information on electrical codes, safety standards, and technological advancements. And guys, that's something that we're always talking about. Keep up with the new things that are coming. Go to trade shows, learn what's coming down in the process. We've already been approached, and we've only been here an hour and a half or so. There's so many new things. Hey, have you seen this yet? Have you seen this yet? Guys, it's out there. Go out, kind of learn it. Start learning some of these different things that are coming. And, NECA's put together a site where it's all there for you. They're trying to keep all of you electricians informed. I'm not going to get on there very often, and we know that that's not. So, hey, it's part of it. But it's really a good spot for educational resources, which is one of our major things. Pass on that knowledge to everybody and all learn from the same spot because you're all going to understand it a little different. So even your team members and stuff like that, send them down the same path and then get together and figure out what y'all's actual takeaways were. Because I guarantee you it's going to be a little different for each person.
And I got to tell you, Randy said, I don't think that'll get on there. I literally tried going to their website. You know what it told me? If you want your computer to blow up, keep trying to go to electrical websites. So I've got my reasons. I don't know. Look, I love NECA. I love what they do. They're about educating the community and on a national level. And if you look at it, they do it in a very good way. I have been to their website before. Remember, I told y'all that I've been superintendent on jobs where I'm over the plumbing, the HVAC, the electrical, the pipe fitters, the welders, the whole crews. So I've done this. Going to their website to learn things, they put it out there in a way that you can see it, you can understand it, you can learn from it, and you can grow. So I do like this. I think that what they're doing is good stuff. But you got to look at, we talk all the time about PHCC and how the Plumbing, Heating, Cooling Contractors Association of America helps us. That's what NECA does for electricians. And to me, if I was and I just saw this guy's shirt, and I don't know if, Randy, I don't know if you can turn your screen where you can see the back of that yellow shirt. I don't know if y'all can read that, but his shirt says, "I run hose for money." We're at a show about excavation too, and stuff like that. Lots of underground work. So Randy runs hose for money too. It's a completely different kind of excavation work that he does. See, I threw that in real quick. Excavation work that he does. So
hey, maybe he'll win the rodeo out here.
There you go. You never know what's going on. So anyway, I understand the benefits. We talk about PHCC and why it would be smart to have a membership in a national organization that's all about your trade. And whether it's because of the advocacy, the training, the networking, the people at the events that you get to be around, it's good stuff. And that's actually going to help lead to your business growth. So whatever trade you're in, there's organizations out there. I had somebody come up to me a while ago and literally come up and say, "Roger, you're the reason we're part of a best practice group. We joined the one that you talk about, the one that you were part of." And I said, "Well, I've been parts of multiple of them now. But the thing is, the one that I was in at the time and talked about it, that's why he joined." So think about it, because he told me, he says, "Roger, this has helped me grow my business exponentially." So learn to look at stuff like that. But today we're going to talk about the modular home market. And Randy and I was in Vegas last week. Randy and I will be in Vegas this next week. And hopefully we can sneak away from the KBIS, the Kitchen and Bath Industry Show, and head over to Ahern and talk to Don and look at what they're doing in modular construction. Because I think it's amazing. So anyway, Randy, let's talk about this. The opportunities out there are great. And to me, that would be a great place to get a job as an apprentice, because you're coming in, you're learning in a controlled environment. And it's going to be a lot safer place to work because you don't have the job site hazards like we talk about all the time.
Yeah, that's huge. A safe place to actually learn a trade from day one is kind of huge. I can remember green apprentices and some of the safety guys on the job when they're doing the orientations. They were like, "Look, we don't want any first day people out here." Well, luckily, I was part of a union at the time. So, and our safety guy goes, "Look, I don't care what you want. These guys are going to be stuck with seasoned people. They are going to look out for these first day guys." So I was able to take a couple of those green guys up to the roof and work the whole job. But that's huge, being able to have this safe area to go in and learn. And then whenever you're in that environment and you're building a modular home, you're going to learn every part and piece to that home. And then I'm sure that they're building these things to where it's just a couple of drain or water connections to retie in everything whenever they actually get it to the location where it's going to live. And this is kind of huge to be able to learn on that front end in that safe environment. So,
hey guys, I don't know if y'all can tell, we are at the Ohio Power Tool booth. We're right here in the middle of this section floor, and it's really cool, the things that we get to see, the things going on around us. If y'all are at WET, the water, wastewater, equipment, technology, and transport industry, I think I got that right. Treatment and transportation. I used to call it technology and transport, or technology and tools. So treatment and transport, I'll have to remember that. But that's where we're at. If y'all are here and y'all can come back here and say hello and take pictures. We're giving away swag. I don't know if y'all can see this, but it looks kind of like, look at that. It looks kind of like me or Squirt. Can't tell which one. But I like this because, look, guys, the modular home market's only going to grow. If you want to grow a plumbing business, and I talk about this all the time, look at what's coming next. What can be the next most amazing thing that we could do? And you look at the idea of tools, material, equipment, and technology. And guys, this is technology. We are building homes in a building. I mean, the building that we're in right here, I'm looking up at the ceiling saying, yeah, we could build a 2-story home in here. Take it apart, ship it out, and then repurpose it, put it together like a puzzle anywhere in the world. And the place that I was in Vegas, they're actually sending these things down to, God, I think it was Costa Rica or the Dominican Republic. I don't remember. But people are building these custom homes, having them shipped there and bolting them up. And it's phenomenal. So, think about it and what it can be, because there's somebody either wanting to build homes in your area, thinking about building homes in your area, or anything at all like that. And if they are, they're going to need a plumber. They're going to need an electrician. They're going to need a roofer. They're going to need an HVAC technician. They are going to need every craft, every trade that there is. So you may be that guy that can set up and do it, but start reaching out to these manufacturers and talking to them and figuring out, how do we help? How do we do things? And how do we grow with y'all?
Yeah, and like something else that this is really going to help with is the housing demand. Okay, there's a huge demand, guys. And then a lot of places that I hear from people in different parts of the country, it's like, oh, it's hard to get a tradesperson to come out here and deal with anything. Well, guys, these come for new homes too. It's hard to get people out there to all these localities and get things done. But if all that plumber or electrician has to do is come out and hook up a new trailer that got dropped off with this whole home, guys, it's going to be a little easier, and it's going to be more feasible to get them out there with enough time to be able to do what you need. And guess what? You don't need them to build a home anymore. You just need them to make the tie-in from the home you just had dropped off.
And y'all, forgive me for looking around, but I know a lot of people at these shows. I'm always looking for somebody to drag in, to ask them questions about what we do or anything like that. So I'm not paying attention. I'm here. I love what we're doing. And let's go down. Now we're going to talk about service work. Now, labor shortages. I tell you what, when you walk around here and look, I know why there's a labor shortage today, because there's a whole lot of plumbers here at this show. And not just plumbers, like it's people in the wastewater industry too. So there's a lot going on here. But this is something I talk about all the time, guys. And we're starting to see the labor dollars reflect it. We're starting to, talking to plumbers here. We talked to a plumber earlier that said up in San Francisco, he's having to pay plumbers $45 an hour. He said, these are not even the best plumbers around. Don't mean that bad. He said, there's plumbers that I could be paying more to. So I want y'all to think about that. $50 an hour for a plumber. When I asked him his service rate, it blew my mind. I'm like, you're not making money. He says, no. He said, we're not making profit. Not like we should be. So, guys, I don't know. I'm going to put together a training. I'm going to put together a school on price books and how to build a price book and what your prices should be set at. And anyway, that's something we need to work on. But look at training programs, because if you're going to recruit people in, and we heard Dennis talk yesterday about his company and the way he's got it set up, and he's got a training center built in the back. And when he brings in people in the trades, people come in and apply for jobs, he brings them in, and if they're plumbers, he shows them around the company, shows them what they do, tells them what they're all about. And then when he goes in the back, he says, do you want to see the training center? Like, well, I don't feel like I need training. He says, no, but you're the kind of plumber we would like to have teach our younger apprentices. And he brings them in and shows them. And it's like, oh my God, I want to come to work here, because I've always wanted to be able to teach apprentices. But then when he brings apprentices in, they go through it and they're excited and they're all this. Then they get back to the training room and they're like, look, this is where you're going to learn hands-on how to do things. And, that's what it's all about. we've got to train people to make them better. And this is how we do it. We set up our buildings, we set up our offices, we set up our companies to where we're designed around training and training programs. And you don't just train people on the faucet and the installation, you train them on the technology. What softwares are you using? What apps are you using? How do you do your job better than anybody else? And what can you do every day to help train your people in that? So, Squirt, I think that's amazing, but we all need to be working on recruiting new people.
We do. And, creating that good learning environment is huge. And if you want to go a little above and beyond, most tradespeople are very competitive. So whenever you have some of these training spaces, these set designated, here's what it is, you can also time that and let them compete for the best time, whatever that is. Like gamify some of this learning. One of the statements that Dennis was talking about yesterday was kind of when they come in, you've got all these trainings out there. Well, guess what? They want to make more money. What do we work for? To make money, to pay the bills at home, things like that. Well, if you can structure pay raises based on their learning, their knowledge level, you go through all these, you knock these out, your pay increases. This is huge, especially in that service work environment, because there's so many things, different parts and pieces that you do need to know to be able to walk into a home and deal with any problem that they have. So, to kind of keep these options open and to gamify that, I think that's kind of huge. We're all kind of competitive on our own anyway, but you bring that into a set environment where they can safely do that and gamify it, that's going to take you a long way. And it's going to be intriguing to the younger generations too.
Okay, we're going to roll over a little early into MET, material equipment and tools. And she's busy right now. I was going to grab Brittany. Yeah, she's talking to somebody right now, though. Let's see. Hey, Jay. Hey, Jay.
How's it going?
Okay, so we're talking right now about MET, material equipment and tools. Guys, this is Jay over at the Ohio Power Tool booth. He let us set up over here. We're tied onto the Wi-Fi back here. Got a great spot. But Jay, what are the new tools that I'm going to say mainly Milwaukee? That's what I deal with a lot. What are the new tools that y'all are rolling out here that you've got here that just really are surprising people?
Okay, so there's like 3 new M12 inspection cameras.
Okay.
So they're really compact.
The little bitty one I saw is like a little
the pack
suitcase.
out one just goes right into the stack. A couple of those. They have a little drain cleaner, little guy, the M12 one. The metal pipe cutter, I didn't even know it was coming. I'll grab it.
Okay, so they got some neat stuff here, is what we're saying. Now, yeah.
So yeah, this was just announced like a couple days ago.
And it goes right on the metal pipe, cuts it. Great
and
stuff.
just slides right in.
Yeah,
so
here, look at this from the side, because you've got it right here. You put it on a pipe right here, and as you push it in, y'all see how that blade comes in? And what size will this cut up to?
I think an inch.
This one here is probably 1 inch.
Yeah, ½ inch, 1 inch.
So this, you slide ½ inch in here too?
Yep.
Man, that is really, really cool.
Yeah, it'll keep it square and everything.
So, I like this because it's long enough you're going to get a good straight cut every time you do it. But, one of the first things that I saw when I walked up and actually grabbed Squirt, I'm like, oh my gosh, look at this little camera. It's about the size of my computer, a little bit thicker, but it's really neat. And it locks in on the pack out, so you can just roll it in with it, right? Such a cool deal.
And then the other one was the M18 transfer pump. So the little M12 stick pump, now they got the 6 foot tall M18 one that'll do like 28 gallons a minute.
28 gallons a minute on a pump. And if you're a service plumber, you know how good having something like that is. That's great stuff. Well, Jay, thank you so much.
Yeah,
I appreciate you letting us hang out here today.
Absolutely.
And
stick around.
Thanks to Milwaukee for everything y'all do. So, as you see, there's new tools coming out all the time. And I kid you not, guys, and the camera's back here over my shoulder. I know you can't see it, but with what Milwaukee does with their pack outs, it's amazing. And, after we started buying our vans or leasing our vans and building them out on the inside with the shelving and stuff like that, having the pack out systems was phenomenal. And being able to set up a plumber in a van the way they wanted to be set up, That way, when they needed to roll into a house, Miss Brittany, you want to come over here real quick? Okay, so this is Brittany, and I brought her in. I brought her over to holler at you. She's the first one we stopped and started talking to, saying, "Hey, look, can we set up over here today?" She's like, "Oh my gosh, yes." And we know a lot of the same people at Milwaukee, don't we?
We do, actually.
Not too bad. So we were just talking about the new metal cutting tool,
Yep.
which is amazing. The camera, the little bitty camera. What's your favorite new tool here?
My favorite new tool.
They're all your favorites. I know that. It's tough. It's like
Well, that's
which
the
child
right
is your
answer.
favorite? Which child is your favorite?
That is the right answer, I think, to say all the new tools. I would have to say the ringer. Although I think if this can be included, our nitrous torch blade that we just came out with for the Sawzall, I think is definitely a top hit. Definitely one to be looking out for. So I know that's not necessarily a tool, but that's a good one right
It's
there.
an accessory to a tool, and trust me,
It's needed.
if
It's
you're
important.
a plumber out in the field and you don't have one with you, you realize how important of a tool it is.
Yeah,
So
because then you can't get the job done.
I like the way you put that.
It's very important. It's key.
I like the
So
way you
I
put
mean, again, I think that the ringer is cool. The cutter's cool. For the inspection.
that. Now, what do you call in the ringer?
The ringer, the roll groover.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So we've got that for the pipe fitters and sprinkler fitters.
Oh, pipe fitters don't use that. They use torches and welders.
Oh, well, see, you're teaching me something over here.
No, they do. It's just, I know. I was playing. No,
Look,
that's good stuff.
I am learning so much today, especially from you over here.
Oh, she
feel
hadn't
like
learned
I'm
nothing from me. She's like,
I'm a
wait,
student.
you want to steal my table? Why?
Not
Tell
at
her when
all.
the table and stools come up missing today, I have no idea where they went. That's the way to do it. That's the way. But wait, look what she's got. Look what she's got right here.
I already have my
I mean,
pin
I'm just
on.
saying, see?
This was the first thing that I put on, and I also
Uh-oh.
let's see.
It's hid way up there.
Well, I was cold.
Looky there. All right, did you look on the inside of it?
I got too many things in my hand.
See, on the inside of my bracelets, there's a secret message.
Ooh, I like this.
Blue collar workers are the original thought leaders. That's what it's all about.
This is top
That's what it's.
tier.
I know. We
I
do
feel
things. Hey, we do things right.
I feel like I need to wear it on that side.
How many other plumbers bring swag? I mean, I'm just saying.
I told you you're the first that I got any swag from
See?
ever.
That's the way you got to be.
I feel like I need to receive more swag here. Everyone's
know.
always asking me for swag.
I know.
But
Well, thank you for letting us set up here today. I
Absolutely.
really do appreciate
Thanks
it.
for
It's been
stopping in.
wonderful. No, thank you.
have fun, guys.
All right. Randy, go ahead and tell us a little bit about Leak Pro, will you?
Yeah, we want to thank Leak Pro for sponsoring today's video. They manufacture what we think is the best leak detection equipment system for professional plumbers. And what they do, we manufacture two different devices. I manufacture a probe, which is a T-handle style solid block of aluminum with a stainless steel rod made for probing in and out of the ground. We prefer that more for your meter to the yard, to the home service, for anything in the yard. And whenever you go inside, we really like to lean into the Sidekick, which is a pistol grip style, has an aluminum rod. But that aluminum rod really kind of eliminates the layer of concrete for whenever you're looking for that slab leak, and it still lets you hear everything that's going on underneath. And we just use this to be one of the most precise leak detection equipments out there for plumbers. I also do an in-person training just outside of Dallas, Texas. It's 2 days. I have 11 leaks out under a slab. We go through line locating. We go through leak locating and pinpointing. I also have one leak that's outside of the slab, so you can kind of hear what that yard service leak sounds like. But I also have a PVC and a cast iron sewer setup to where you can learn how to isolate sewer lock branch lines from that main, all from the double clean out outside. And if you want to find any more about our equipment or our training, you can visit www.leak-pro.com, or you can give me a call at 1-8888-LEAK-PRO, and we can talk about the equipment or the training to you in some line.
All right, now we're going to roll into MEP, and this is always one of my favorites, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing. And I like this because there's a big push today for energy storage systems in commercial buildings. And there was a really cool building built in Dallas a few years back, and I wanted this building. It was called the Tree House or something like that. And I actually remember going in there. and they had Tesla panels on the roof and a Tesla wall. And the wall was literally just batteries that stored energy. And they said, we can get enough energy in here when on a good day that it'll run this building all day and all night, and we can still send energy back into the grid. So these buildings, and I mean, guys, think about this. I love this idea. You can get enough solar power during the day to run your building at night. And man, your HVAC systems, your electrical systems, your computers, your crack units, anything, all whatever's in your building, all that stuff still has to run. So I love this, but looking how to grow in energy efficiency and resilience, battery storage systems are becoming more common in commercial construction. So Squirt, will you go a little bit deeper on that? I love this idea because I think the more power we can get from the sun to run our buildings off of is great.
No, I think this is huge. Like this originated with people wanting to keep their homes powered. And that's kind of where a lot of solar started and battery storage systems, because losing that power at home it really sucks, Well, guess what? A lot of companies out there are like, hey, we're tired of losing power too. And I learned this big on data centers and watching some of the rooms that these people built with all the battery packs and things like this was where it first opened my eyes to think of the commercial side of it. But where we don't want our homes going down, guess what? They don't want their data centers going down, because I was doing this for Bank of America at the time. And one of the major things they want you to be able to access your money all the time because it's your money. And if their data center goes down, you can't do that. So creating these battery backup storage rooms, things like this, to have power backed up and ready to go for when any of the grid goes down, this is a huge thing. And this really creates a lot of work for tradespeople, because you've got to build the room, you've got to collect the power. So electricians, this is going to be huge for y'all more than anybody, because this is mainly wiring, things like that. But guess what, welders? You're not going to miss out either, because they've got to have some framework to support all these batteries. And they're typically not light, especially with a commercial building. You're doing a lot of batteries and big bulbs also.
And when you look at how all this ties together, it's going to be more work for all of us. And look, I love this idea. Look, I'm a lead AP, leadership in energy and environmental design. And when you look at this, how do we take, and this may be something for Milwaukee to think about. I mean, imagine if we could build a wall of batteries that we plug in, the solar charges them, and then the building can run off them. We'll have a red wall. We'll have a Milwaukee wall. But no, I love what Milwaukee's doing. I think it's great stuff. And anything, it's funny because anytime we talk about batteries, I always come back to Milwaukee, because I think that they've got the greatest batteries in the system. And the way they operate their tools with them, the batteries are always going to fit them. There's so many different things that I think are just phenomenal. And really, that's what it's all about, is how do we do better with what we have. But Randy, how can MEP professionals get ahead in the energy storage industry?
Honestly, you're going to want to invest in training and certifications for battery and renewable energy integration. That's where everything's headed. We all know this. You guys, get out there and get the certifications. That way you've got them. You can do the work. You can prove that you're certified to do these installs. So that's one of the first things. And then that's going to help open a lot of doors. But the sector is growing real fast, and it's going to be a major part of any future buildings that are coming down the pipeline.
All right, so where the work is, and I got to tell you, it's not here right now. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of plumbers here, but there ain't no work getting done. And I say that's not true. You see plumbers reach in and grab stuff to play with new equipment, to do different things. So there's all kinds of cool stuff. And I love coming to trade shows like this, because there's a lot of hands-on. Hey, grab this, try this, feel this, play with this. They want you to put it in your hand, because then you want to carry it home. I completely get it. But here's the thing, and I love it, because we're talking about San Antonio, Texas. So, Randy, you've been doing research on where the work is, and I love to find out that Texas has spots that are booming, and it's in retail expansion.
It is. So San Antonio is experiencing a retail boom. with major retailers expanding their presence in that area. You know, the Riverwalk's great. I've been down there myself. I'm sure you have and enjoyed that. But guys, it's growing. You know, what's our favorite thing to do as Americans? Shop. What are most
Yeah,
everybody
everybody
doing
here is shopping, guys. I'm telling you.
They are shopping. We can buy tools right here. Okay, if you don't know where, come to the Ohio Power Tools area. We've got it.
I mean, that's what's going on here. As y'all can tell, that they're here, they're spending money, they're shopping, they're learning new things. There is all kinds of stuff going on.
Yeah, and then, you know, this growth is creating a lot of new opportunities for tradespeople, guys, because it's going to be involved in the construction, remodeling some of the old facilities into this. But then also, guys, don't forget about the facilities maintenance. You got to upkeep this. Somebody's got to be out there to take care of this place. And guess what? That's going to take a tradesperson. You know, it's one of the things that we looked at a lot in the union because we worked a lot on TCU campus. It was like, man, how do I become a maintenance guy at TCU? Because all of my kids' college would be covered that way. But look at a few maintenance areas that are great to keep an eye out on also because that's huge and it can keep you very busy for a long time. A lot of key opportunities here is going to be in the electrical work, HVAC installations, and commercial plumbing. Guys, skilled trades, skilled trades, skilled trades. We always know that. We support all the trades, but we know that top tier is a skilled trade, and that's what most of us are anyway. So,
You know,
that's kind of
and I love that you're talking about San Antonio because I remember San Antonio is where I first found out about Green Plumbers USA. And to be honest, I'm not even sure if they're still around. I know Green Plumbers is in Australia, but Green Plumbers USA, I literally went down to San Antonio to go through like the first 2 training modules. Met with a guy named Eddie Wilcutt. And at the time, Eddie was the director of SAWS, the San Antonio Water Services. And it was really neat because he had done research and shown that over the previous, I think it was 18 or 20 years, San Antonio had doubled in size, doubled in population, but they were using the same amount of water, meaning the water treatment plant was putting out the same amount of water as it did 15, 20 years earlier, and it was supplying the city. And they did this by giving away and working with companies to give away high efficiency toilets, high efficiency shower heads, anything to help save water. So that is why I love that it's San Antonio that's growing like that, because I know how San Antonio is about water conservation. And I think that, you know, and at the time, and I hate to say it, I lived in Dallas and I thought, why isn't Dallas doing some stuff like this? Because I think it's sad that, you know, we waste as much water as we do in plumbing each and every day. So I love to see that cities like San Antonio are growing and doing good things because, man, if they can grow, make improvements to the city and still save water, still conserve water, man, that's a great way to go. So let's move over into instructor training. And I like this because, and this is what a lot of this is about. And it's funny because I've had 2 people come up to me so far and say, oh my God, I wish my apprentice was here. He watches you every day. He would love getting to meet you. So we're able to give them a pin and say, well, let's take a picture, send it to them, tell them you met me. That'll make them want to come here next year. And remember, guys, we're at WETT, WWETT, water, wastewater, equipment, treatment, and transport. See, I got a little help over here. But guys, the first word's water and then wastewater. Water's us. So there's a lot of plumbers here doing the things that we do, talking about the things that we talk about. So it's great to get to be here. But to see that these plumbers take this information back and share it with their apprentices, train their apprentices. And like I said earlier, we set in part of Dennis the apprentice's training yesterday. And I keep looking around knowing he's here somewhere. But the cool thing is to get to see people talk about training and how they're doing training. I think it's great because we are teaching the next generation. And the people that are getting into the trades right now, these are your entrepreneurs in the future. So to be able to get them in, get them educated, and teach them the right way to do things, I think is going to be great for all of us. Square.
It is, you know, and like that's one of the things that I learned through my 20 years in my trade is what were my two favorite things doing? It was building stuff with my hands and teaching people. My favorite part of the job was teaching that apprentice how to use the tools the right way, things like this. And guys, pass on all that information, all those little tricks that you've kind of picked up and gained, and you just have side noted in your head. Pass that on to your apprentice. Let them take advantage of the things that you learned. You know, it goes back to the old statement, you know, what's the difference between a smart man and a wise man? The smart man has to learn from his own mistakes, but the wise man can learn from others. Put the knowledge out there. Try to make everybody wiser so that they can learn from the knowledge and experience that you've actually had and done yourself. And passing that knowledge on, it's going to make you feel great too. But also becoming an instructor allows seasoned pros to pass on their knowledge and contribute to the future of the industry. Don't let everything that you know die with you, is how I like to put it. It's a little morbid, but guys, if it's all in your head and you have a heart attack tomorrow, it's gone. Okay. Put that knowledge out there. We promote social media a lot, things like that. Put some of those videos out there, let them live and breathe forever, since this knowledge can be passed on to that next generation.
And apprenticeship training programs to me are phenomenal. That's how I got started in teaching. And I had joined the union. Now, remember, I had never had any formal training in plumbing. So when I joined the union as an employee, as a worker, and had probably been in the union 3, maybe 4 years. And I was up there for continuing education one day, and the current director of the union says, "Hey, can I take you to lunch today? I'd like to talk to you." So we went to lunch, went over to Rick's Burgers, and he sits there and he says, I'd be interested in you being an instructor. And I'm like, where? He said, at the union. I said, why? He said, look, he said, we've never had somebody as an instructor that did not go through the training program. He said, but Roger, the apprentices that we have talk about how well you teach them out on the job. And I've always taken pride in that. I always love the fact that I think I taught my apprentices to be better plumbers. I taught them to do things better than I was doing. So to me, things like that are huge. And to get invited to be an instructor was phenomenal. And I got in there and I loved it. I loved spending time with, I mean, I'd have anywhere from 40 to, well, anywhere from 20, well, 10 or 15, depending on how late in their career they were. Because it's funny, the first year apprentices, there's about 40 or 50 in the class. By the time they get to the 5th year, there's 10 or 12 in their class. But that's how many people don't make it. That's why it's nice to bring more people in all the time. But it was such a great way for me to share my knowledge. Anything that I had learned out in the field, I knew that I could bring to them. I got to teach advanced drawings and blueprint reading. I got to teach lead green, the green associate. I got to teach a bunch of cool stuff like that. And man, it was just great because it was a wonderful way to spend the day. So to get to, and I say spend the day, spend the evening. After working all day, I'd come in here and spend 3 or 4 hours instructing apprentices. And I always thought that was great. So I loved it. I love getting to do the things that I enjoyed, but I love being able to pass it on to the people that are going to be the next level of entrepreneurs, the next generation of leaders in our industry. We're going to move on to the specialty now. And this is the art and science of working with copper and plumbing. And before Squirt jumps in, I want to tell you, and I talked about this a couple of weeks ago about having a problem with somebody in the union. And when we went and talked to the superintendent says, look, we can run him off if you want to, but he's going to be working for our competitors then. Would you rather have him working for us or them? And he says, how is his work? And the guy just put his head down. He said, look, I can't complain about his work. He said, his work's amazing. It's true. It's plumb. It's square. We don't have any leaks, and we never have to go back and do anything. And I think that was literally because I learned from great plumbers and learned how to put stuff in. But I think copper is a work of art, and you can make it look that way if you want to, or you can make it look like hammered dog turds if you want to do that. But what else you come up with on this, Squirt?
Like copper still remains the gold standard in plumbing, guys. I know that they're coming out with all these new things, PEX, different materials to use, but I've seen issues and stuff coming with these PEX with the chlorines and stuff that the water treatment's doing because there's no stipulation on that. So just different things, but copper is still just as durable as it's always been, guys. It's got antimicrobial properties and the ability to withstand high temperatures. It's huge. It's something that we still use on a day-to-day basis on any of our installs. We just kind of prefer copper, but we're both kind of old school people. I was brought up to a real bunch of old school guys. So I like copper.
As you
because
explore the show floor
Right.
today, be sure to stop by the Indian Humane booth. Booth 461.
As you can tell,
All
Lett's
the
talking.
puppies and kittens
So,
available for
Uh,
adoption.
don't know if y'all can hear
They
Squirt.
will be recommended to 1
Don't know if you
p.m.
can hear me
today,
even.
And then again
Why?
tomorrow from 9 a.m.
We
to
are
1
here
p.m.
with Wet, so great place to be. While we're done, I want to go through Lori's comments right here. She says, "Love that quote, Randy. Great reminder. Generational leadership, and guys, you can train that generational leader under you." She says, "I love copper. My whole kitchen is copper." I don't think that's the way he's talking. He's talking the water lines and she's up in the Northwest, up in ice cold weather. I don't even know if they use copper up there into the houses anymore, if it's all gone to PEX or what it is. But we understand, and hey, we love copper too.
Yeah. And then, like working with copper, it's going to require specific skills and techniques. And like we hear about it a lot that plumbers can't solder. Their companies don't let them.
Okay.
Guys, don't ever lose that skill.
I want to say something there because I remember the first time somebody jumped into a live stream with me and they said, "Our company will not even let us carry a torch on the truck." And I'm like, what? You can't even carry a torch? And they said, no. It's like, well, what if you've got a copper line you've got to tie onto? They're like, well, we have to use a transitional fitting. So they're using shark bite or something. And it's like, to tell me that a plumber is not allowed to solder, I don't even want to go any deeper there because to me that is just sad.
Hey, the reason I got in pipe fitting is because I get to play with a torch. Okay. Feel bad for you plumbers that don't get to, because I like fire. And that's one of the reasons I like putting metal together. Just, I guess that's part of my machinist background from whenever I was younger. I dealt with a lot of metals and it just made me want to work more with metals. But it's huge. But some of the best practices for copper work is going to be to use proper flux and soldering techniques to create secure joints. That's one of the major things I learned from this guy. And you know what? People give me hell, but guess what? I've barely ever had leaks because I know what I'm doing. I'd have to go behind so many different people that had all these leaks. And it's like, dude, what were you doing when you were soldering? You were trying to do 3-inch copper and like you barely got any solder in it. How much did you feed into it? They're like, oh, well, I kind of just ran some around it real quick. And it's like, no, here, let me teach you how to solder and fill up the cup. Okay. You got to get it a little bit hotter than that because this is large copper. And something that they learned from that job is quit soldering 3-inch copper. Okay. Braise a lot of that and solder your smaller stuff. So they did kind of learn from that. But you really want to deburr your pipes whenever you're dealing with copper. And I actually saw a video kind of recently where they'd put together the same piping, one deburred and one non, and showed you the water flow shooting out of the valve at the end. So we're going to have to do before long because
I like that.
it was kind of eye-opening to actually look at what deburring actually does for the pipe and your water flow in the big picture of things. But then another thing is you're going to want to test all your connections under pressure. Before you close the walls and ceilings, put a solid pressure test on this stuff. Commercial projects, they let them one side of wall most of the time because they want to test everything first before any walls get closed in. And this is huge. And the key to that is kind of communication around the job also to make sure nothing gets closed up early or not.
And cool things about it are anytime people would come to me and they'd want to close a wall sooner, I'd always tell them no. And if they say, well, we have to, okay, I need you to sign off on this, that if there's a leak behind that wall, you're going to pay to open it up and you're going to pay to repair anything that you closed up. Because I'm telling y'all, we're on schedule and we're not ready for it. But y'all want to get ahead of schedule, go ahead. Now, if I'd have soldered every joint, I might tell them, hey, I'm not too worried about it. But I've had plumbers on my job or apprentices on my job that, you know what? You might want to be smart and let us test this beforehand. So we've always tried to do stuff like that. But one thing, too, is we would also try to help them and say, look, what we can do is we can try to solder it or we can do an air test on it and get things ready. So anyway, okay, we're talking about social media spotlight today. And I know it's Monday. We're supposed to talk about welders, but I got Brother Sean with me. Oh, cheers.
What's up, man?
I got to stop this. It's doing great. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm having a great time.
So this is your first time at WET.
Yes, sir.
What's your experience so far?
This is fantastic. I showed up yesterday and I found out that nobody shows up on day one.
That's not true. We were all three here.
That's true. You guys were
And
here.
Dennis.
Dennis
There
was
were
here.
4 of us here.
So, but the first day, pretty relaxed. A lot of just the seminars and whatnot. So I went and saw Dennis speak about building a company and building a team, which was fantastic because that's something that I'm very interested in, getting people into the business and having a strong team. But today I'm all about seeing friends. So it's great walking around the expo, seeing new tech and seeing people that I've known for years and get to meet them for the first time. So this is great. I'm having a great time.
Yeah, this has been really good. And Randy and I've been here. I think I came the first year by myself. You've been here twice. So this is like my 4th year. So I think I came the first 2 years by myself. So it's neat because, all the big tool manufacturers are here.
Yeah.
There's new tools, materials, equipment, and technology every day. Like I said, we're over here in the Ohio Power Tool booth, and they've got Milwaukee, they've got Ridgid, they've got all kinds of tools here. But seeing the new tools that Milwaukee's got out, I love their little bitty pack out camera. I'm thinking, okay, this is neat because, man, you can just carry that with you anywhere. So easy to do. But what all are you doing on social media now? Where all are you at? Sean used to have this big mustache, and apparently it grew out and grew through his ear holes and did weird things there because the mustache is now gone, and he's got this crazy stuff in his ears. But
Yeah, well,
where all are you at nowadays?
well, I'm still on Instagram. Blue Collar Boom.
Yeah.
I've kind of work has really taken over a lot of my time and a lot of my focus. I've been bumped up, and I've got a lot of guys under me that I'm trying to get trained to replace me. Honestly, a lot. I've got 4.
They're trying to get rid of him. They're just not telling him yet.
I got 4 apprentices, and I'm trying to get less and less in the field. So I'm trying to train them up to take my place.
Yeah, and that's not a bad deal.
No, I love it, but it's taken a lot more of my focus. And honestly, I think after this week, I'll probably be getting back into the Instagram and posting more like I used to be.
Yeah, you're realizing it works.
Oh, yeah, it's fantastic, and I miss it. I'm seeing a lot of people that, like I said, friends that I've known for years through that, but I've never got to meet. So coming to the trade show that's the real reason why I'm here. It's a vacation that's work adjacent, but I get to see my friends.
Now wait, how do you call this a vacation? I was Randy was at hold on, wait. Randy was at AHR last week. I think you told me how many steps did you put in a day? 22 miles in 2 days, 3 days?
3 days.
So last time we took everybody to to KBIZ, which Randy and I are headed to here in a couple of weeks.
Mhm.
No, next week.
Next week,
Yeah, we'll be there next week. We put 23 miles
I'm
in
still
2
waiting on my
days
ticket
there.
in the mail.
Yeah, it should be there any day. But it's work to me. I'm here to meet vendors. I'm here to meet sponsors.
Yeah.
I'm here to meet other people. But you call this a vacation?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I think we need to define what a vacation is because I don't think you have any idea.
Yeah, I don't.
Because you are go
He doesn't.
all the time. So yeah, for me, this is a vacation. I have not taken a trip anywhere in years. This is the first time I've taken a trip by myself ever. Well, no, because I've gone to see you a couple of times.
I was just going to say, wait,
Yeah, that's
you were in Dallas
that's
and you
a-
didn't have anybody with you.
but that's like a go down, come back.
I
So
know,
this is
well,
a-
hey, it's all work.
Yeah, this is a week long. I don't have to do any labor. I get to walk around and see people and make this face. all day.
Yeah,
So,
you know,
this is a
every time I
vacation.
see him, he's been smiling.
This is a break. I love this.
Okay, so when's the last time you were in the Discord group? I have a hard time getting on my phone, so I'm wondering.
Yeah, I'm.
Been a little while.
I get in from time to time. Mostly when I look at something and somebody new joins, and I say hi. But yeah, a lot of people moderating other than me and getting a lot of good help.
So Mr. Matt McDonough says, Mr. Miyagi of Plumbing, what's up, brother? Is that Sean Strong?
What's up, Matt?
Well, I know it's hard to recognize him without the mustache thing going on. As you can see, it grew out to his ears and it's doing weird
I
things
think
there.
you can see.
Yeah, he can. Let me see.
There we go.
Yeah. See,
There we go.
he can see.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what's going on. And yes, that is Sean Strong.
Yes, sir.
It's good stuff though.
Yes.
And you know, it's good to know you're getting back into the social media part.
I got lazy.
Well, you know, you get busy,
Yeah.
and luckily for me, I mean, I've got people that get to help me do it, so that does make it easier on me. But it's I know I love that. I know that looks good. I should get one of those.
I know a guy.
You know a guy? Maybe Squirt will give me one if I'm nice. But no, it's good to see you here, and this is your first half day now. Not even a half day. Yeah, it's been open for about 4 hours.
I slept in too. So,
Did you? Shame on
Yeah,
you.
I know.
See, we don't do that.
slept through my alarm.
Yeah, we don't do that. But here's what's funny is literally I was in bed at like 7. Well, no, I was in bed at about 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon. Took a nap for like 3 hours. Woke up for about an hour. Went back to sleep and slept till about 6 this morning. So I got lots
That's
of
where
rest.
vacations.
Man, it's it's just being wore out. But it is really cool to be able to do the things that we get to do. But getting on social media, I think number one, it's something that each and every one of us should be doing, because there's so many young kids that come up to me and are like, "Oh my God, I see you and love what you do, and I watch your videos, and we do this and that." So it's really pretty cool to get to do the things that we do because of social media.
Mhm.
So yeah, get on there a little more, spend a little more time,
Yes, sir.
have a little more fun, talk to more people, and do cool things.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Okay.
Matt says, "What's up, brother?"
What's up, brother?
And glad to see you guys are out there having fun. Be safe.
Having a great time. I'm gonna go to lunch with Zoller.
Good deal.
Okay.
Good
All right.
deal.
I'll see
All
you guys
right,
later.
have a good one. All right, man. This has been great. I love what we get to do. The people that we get to run into, the people we get to see. It's such a great event. I love coming to WET. I think this is amazing for plumbers, for tradespeople, but really, if you're in the plumber, the wastewater, if you're in water treatment, if you're in septics, if you're in waste transport, anything at all like that, this is such a great event to be at. The people we get to meet, the people we get to see. We got to get over and talk to our buddies at EPL earlier. John and Jerry, one of the most amazing sewer cameras I've ever seen. The things that they do, the camera itself, it's phenomenal. But we love getting to come out here. Squirt, we got a couple of minutes left. Go ahead and tell us about Leak Pro and why that we think it is the most precise leak detection system for professional plumbers.
So I'm Henry Wakefield of Leak Pro, and we want to thank Leak Pro for sponsoring today's video. The reason that we think that we do create the best system for professional plumbers is it's user friendly, guys. That's what it all boils down to. It's the equipment, push button activation to turn it on and off, one wire going to your headphone, and one volume knob. That's the only adjustment on the whole device is volume. You should be able to adjust that as needed. But I build two different devices. I build a probe, which is made for your meter to the home service, kind of covering the yard work. And then I make a sidekick, which is more sensitive for when you go inside and you're actually listening through a slab. And it kind of eliminates that layer of concrete that you're listening through. I also I have an in-person training just outside of Dallas, Texas. If you want to check that out, it's 2 days long. I teach you line locating. I teach you leak detection. I teach you sewer isolation testing, also in cast iron and PVC systems. PVC is equal to ABS for any of you over in California. But, come out, check it out, man. If you want to check anything out, visit www.leak-pro.com. or you can give me a call at 1-8888-LEAG-PRO, and we can discuss how League Pro can help you and your company. You're muted.
Everything going on down here, it's about training. Don't just okay. I guess whenever I gave you the camera alone, it muted me. Anyway, guys, it's not just about seeing the tool and buying the tool. It's about getting the training. That's one of our favorite things here is all the hands-on. So I want to say thanks to each and every one of y'all for joining today. It's great to have y'all in here. We will be going live again tomorrow. So we'll see if we're in another booth or where we're at. But love to see y'all here. Come join us, and we'll talk about what all we're learning here tomorrow. Thank you, guys. Have a great day. Bye.
Okay, everybody. See you back here tomorrow. It'll be nothing hard.